Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, motorcyclist dies after crashing into a cow in Westmoreland. A motorcyclist died of injuries he sustained when he collided with a cow in Westmoreland early Friday morning. The deceased has been identified as a 39-year-old Alden grandson of Cameron District Waterworks, Westmoreland. Reports are that about 3:15 a.m., the motorcyclist was traveling along the New Hope Main Road from Negril towards Little London when he hit a cow on the roadway. The motorcyclist sustained serious injuries as a result of the collision and was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The Westmoreland police are investigating the incident. There have been a number of crashes involving cows in Westmoreland over recent years. Last year, for example, Constable Tajay Ebanks of the Traffic Department in the Westmoreland Police Division died from injuries he sustained after his motorcycle reportedly collided with a cow in Little London in the parish. Female pedestrian crossing road hit by traffic cop's bike and dies. A female pedestrian died as a result of injuries she sustained on being hit by a motorcycle that was being ridden by a traffic cop in Trelawney on Saturday night. The identity of the deceased is not yet available. Reports are that about 7 p.m., the motorcycle was being ridden along the Wilshire Main Road from the direction of Falmouth, heading towards Greenwood in the parish of Trelawney. Upon reaching in the vicinity of Flamingo Service Station, it is reported that the motorcycle crashed into the pedestrian who was crossing the roadway. Both the rider of the motorcycle and the pedestrian were rushed to the hospital, where the pedestrian was pronounced dead on arrival and the rider of the motorcycle was admitted in serious condition. The Trelawney police are investigating the incident. Security guards booked on gun wraps for separate alleged illegal acts. Police from the St. Catherine North and the Clarendon divisions have separately charged the two security guards for alleged illegal gun-related activities ahead of the Christmas season. Detectives from the St. Catherine North division charged 25-year-old Siobhan Johnson, a security guard of Bronx Street in the parish, with possession of prohibited weapon, using a firearm to commit a felony, and a robbery with aggravation following an incident on the Linstead Bypass Road in the parish on Thursday, December 12. Reports from the Linstead police are that about 11:30 a.m., Johnson, who was in contact with a bureau in relation to a business transaction, met the bureau at an agreed meeting point. While conducting business, Johnson reportedly pulled a firearm and pointed it at the bureau. The man, in fear for his life, took evasive action and managed to escape. Johnson and another individual then fled the scene on the bureau's motorcycle. The police were summoned, and after an investigation, Johnson was apprehended. A question and answer session was later conducted in the presence of his attorney, following which he was charged by the police. His court date is being finalized. Over in Clarendon, 28-year-old Hopeton Elliott, a security guard of Duncan Heights Milk River in the parish, has been arrested and charged with possession of prohibited weapon following an incident at an establishment on Stereo Vibes Lane in Gimimibit District in the parish on Tuesday, December 17. Reports from the Maypen police are that about 1:30 a.m., two off-duty police officers were at an establishment when Elliott entered. A bulge was observed in the area of his waistband, and the officers approached him and requested a search. During the search, a firearm was allegedly found in his waistband, and a pepper spray canister was taken from a crossbag that he had. He was arrested and taken into custody, where he was subsequently charged. His court date is also being finalized. Two men charged with murder for July and October incidents in Kingston and St. Andrew. Two men have been charged with murder following shootings in the corporate area in July and October. They are 30-year-old Mark Ferron, otherwise called Wayne or Mango Man, a painter from Tavern Drive in St. Andrew, and 28-year-old Christopher Latouche, a laborer from Upper Love Lane in downtown Kingston, the police say. Each has been charged with murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and using a firearm to commit a felony. Feron's charges stem from the death of 35-year-old Rohan Seymour, also known as a boss, who was shot and killed in Greenwich Town on July 4. Reports from the Hunts Bay police indicated that Seymour was cleaning debris from the roadway when he was allegedly attacked by a group of armed men, including Feron. Seymour was shot multiple times and later succumbed to his injuries at the hospital. In a separate case, Latouche was charged following the fatal shooting of 35-year-old Andre Burke, also known as a Crab Up, a vendor from Love Lane. The police report that on Thursday, October 31, Latouche and an accomplice allegedly shot and killed Burke as he walked home. Court dates for the two accused men have not been finalized. 5 men nabbed in Ganja seizure at St. Thomas Wharf. 5 men were arrested in connection with the recent seizure of approximately 1,800 pounds of ganja during an operation by the Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard and the police's Firearms and the Narcotics Investigation Division in St. Thomas. The operation occurred at the Bowden Wharf in Port Morant at about 11:30 p.m. on December 19. Reports indicated that the Coast Guard intercepted a fishing boat with 5 men aboard. A subsequent search of the vessel led to the discovery of the drugs. The men were arrested on suspicion of violating the Dangerous Drugs Act. 2 men arrested over seizure of AK-47 rifle in Kingston. 2 men were arrested following the seizure of an AK-47 assault rifle during a joint police-military operation in Rockfort, East Kingston on Saturday. The operation took place around 8 a.m. on Simpson Road. Officers searched the premises allegedly occupied by the men when the weapon, along with a magazine containing 22 rounds of 7.62 ammunition, was found hidden under pieces of zinc in the yard. The men, whose identities are being withheld pending further investigations, were taken into custody. The operation took place in the Kingston Eastern Police Division. Hilton blasts the government for Christmas congestion at the Port of Kingston. Opposition spokesperson on trade and global logistics, Anthony Hilton, says that the annual Christmas congestion at the Port of Kingston is due to the government's inaction, ineptitude, and the lack of vision in capitalizing on the port's potential. Describing the port as a global and a local asset, Hilton has argued that there is need for urgent action to address the long-standing issues. Until the cargo imbalance that characterizes Jamaica's trade situation is addressed, the annual congestion at the Port of Kingston will remain a source of frustration and a risk to local importers, including manufacturers and distributors, Hilton said in a statement issued on Sunday. He argued that while global shipping uncertainties contribute to the congestion, Jamaica's failure to develop logistics infrastructure around the Port of Kingston has been the key barrier. According to him, the shortfall undermines the port's resilience and flexibility, preventing it from becoming a major logistics hub. We must act urgently to take the port to the next level, he said. Last week, Port Authority of Jamaica said current congestion at the port resulted from a drastic increase of cargo volumes as well as disruptions in mainliner service schedules. That statement followed a complaint from businessman Richard Pandohi, the head of one of the country's largest distribution and manufacturing companies. Supply chain challenges are as bad now as it was in COVID. Many ships anchored in harbor waiting to offload, not to mention how many bypass in Jamaica because of congestion, Pandohi said in a post on social media site X on Wednesday. Hilton also criticized the government over its handling of the Logistics Hub initiative and the Cayman Special Economic Zone. This failure is compounded by the lack of new significant investments, he added. He said the challenges are a key constraint on Jamaica's economic growth, particularly affecting micro, small and medium-sized enterprises. Industry Minister Aubin Hill last week dismissed Hilton's criticisms about the government's purported inaction in advancing Jamaica's interest in developing a global logistics hub. Hill pointed to a recent announcement by Professor Gordon Shirley, chairman of the PAJ, that the government of Jamaica is about to start the de-risking build-out of the Cayman Special Economic Zone. Hilton is a former industry minister and was in charge of logistics under the previous People's National Party administration. He faced the criticisms over a botched multi-billion-dollar logistics hub proposal. Last month, he said a future PNP administration will update and implement the World Bank-funded logistics hub master plan for Jamaica within the first 100 days of taking office. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.